attacking the virus in the body and developing the white blood cells, the autoimmune system, to defeat it.
This is a simplistic explanation.
To develop the resistance to it, to develop the antibodies. That's what vaccines do. They teach your body to develop antibodies.
They're like teachers. They teach your body.
And once again,
they teach your body's pain.
On Google.
An adverse reaction.
Take Google as the end all. But here's the answer to the question that I gave Google. Does taking the COVID vaccine give you a mild case of COVID? Answer.
Norm just admitted that the COVID-19 vaccine causes an adverse reaction. He just said it.
Thank you. I'm not fucking done talking. Don't interrupt me. Thank you.
I'm not sure why you're cursing, Steve.
Because I got a little angry.
Well,
the answer to the question, does taking the COVID vaccine give you a mild case of COVID? Answer, no. The COVID-19 vaccine cannot give you a mild case of COVID because none of the authorized vaccines contain the live virus. So, sorry, Norm, you were wrong.
Well, I have to disagree with you and Google, Steve. So
fine. Please quote me your site.
Yes. So I think I just explained it a moment ago.
No. I said quote me your site.
Yes, I know what you said, and now I'm responding the way I choose to respond.
But no. I want you to quote me your site.
Thank you. So when
if you don't, this is just your opinion, right?
No, sir. I'm explaining the science.
Okay. What is about what you're ready to say based on?
Now, do you mind if I finish?
As long as you tell me what it's based on, or is it just your opinion?
But no, it's based on.
So you don't want to say what it's based on. You don't want to say if it's your opinion. You just want to say it.
It's okay. So I'm basing it on simple science.
Simple science.
Yes. So what a vaccine does is it stimulates your body's your system's antibodies to a given pathogen. And when you create those antibodies to the pathogen, you're then able to defeat the intrusion of the pathogen.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that.
Right. So
that's not what you said.
Well, that's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
The problem with the
You're
virus
wrong. It's not the same thing.
Well, you're incorrect on that one. So the problem with the virus is not the presence of the virus in the body. There are many. The problem is the body's response to it. And if the body can't respond to it effectively, then you get sick and you get symptoms. And that's what we're talking about here. It's simple science.
No. Simple science is whether or not taking the COVID vaccine gives you a mild case of COVID.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Yes. I just explained to you.
You explained it. That statement is wrong.
Which part did you not understand about what
I understood everything. What you said.
You don't disagree with the word that I said, do you?
Well, it gives you a mild case of something, right? I mean, the mRNA vaccine is more similar, I guess.
It gives you side effects.
What is a virus, right? A virus is an encapsulated piece of biological
RNA, really.
Basically, it can sometimes it's DNA, sometimes it's RNA, sometimes whatever, right? But it's encapsulated and it goes into your body. But I think the key difference is that virus can replicate itself within your body. And that is what a COVID infection is, versus this is being injected with the product that a vaccine would make. And then that product produces the spike protein in your body, which is so it's a mild case of spike protein injection, I guess you could say. But I don't think you can... I think you're stretching it to say that you have a mild case of COVID, because you have, you have a mild case of something, and that something is
you're going to get protein. You're going to get mild COVID symptoms often.
Well, that's true.
I'm not going to argue with that. You will get mild COVID symptoms. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
So do we agree on that, but that it doesn't give you a mild case of COVID?
Oh, you're welcome to argue over it, Steve. I don't have an interest in arguing over it. I think.
All right, then let's stop arguing.
I'm fine with that.
No, it's not that Norm has no interest in arguing over it. Norm has no interest in being wrong. He's not going to admit.
I want to be wrong when I'm wrong. I don't want to be right when I'm wrong.
But
you get a COVID vaccine, and I think in many cases you're under the weather for a couple.
But clearly, Norm, you were wrong, and you just don't want to admit that you're wrong.
Well, no, that's not true, Ben.
Yes, it was very.
So do you
very,
understand
very
what
quick.
happens when you catch a virus? You respond to the virus, right? And those responses are what you experience as feeling sick. You might get a fever. Your body is raising its temperature to create an inhospitable environment for the virus. You might get things like a runny nose or a sore throat. Your body is responding to the intruder. That's what happens when you get a vaccine too, only on a smaller
And a
scale.
runny nose and sore throat are side effects for the cold and the flu, correct?
Right. And COVID.
So if you
Yes.
if you
Well,
had
yeah,
said it
right.
gives you a reaction akin to a mild case of COVID, I don't think any of us would disagree. But
Fair enough.
You just
Fair
said
enough,
flatly it gives you a mild case of COVID. Which
Whatever.
Is what
Fair
we're calling
enough.
it.
We know what he meant.
All right, so apparently we're all in agreement on the principal issue. Let's move on.
How's everyone doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm a little excited, but I'm doing great, man. It's Friday.
And it is exciting.
Nice. Are you guys
I'm
for
just-
a?
Listen, people are excited because it's Shabbos and the Shekhinah is about to come. And it's Friday night, baby, the night of the lovers, Venus de Milo, something like that, Rabboni Shalom. This has been such an interesting conversation about the COVID-19 vaccine and adverse reaction and people that have buyer's remorse and guilt about believing in this thing called COVID-19 and the political ideology behind it, the hypnosis, the lies, the spam. It's all come out, and Dr. Fauci is going down. He's being prosecuted by the Republican Party and Rand Paul for his lies and deception and misinformation and murder. 1 million Americans were murdered by the mass rollout of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, Moderna, J&J. We all know 1 million people died upon injection, receiving that horrific poison of mRNA spike proteins. And everyone here who believes the lies and propaganda, you're a fool. And they will fool you with their lies themselves.
Just for clarification, I'm the one that moved him to the audience because specifically he stated that 1 million people died from the vaccine, which is completely untrue. It's a flat out lie. And I was going, hang on, let me finish. I was going to let him stay on stage, but when you commit a flat out lie that the COVID vaccine killed 1 million people, that's when you get dumped to the fucking goo. Go ahead.
Pure nonsense, and I would have done the same thing. I was just about to, this is an example of a non-productive conversation, Steve, that I'm not interested in having. I don't want to just debate nonsense. And I agree with what you did in sending him down. And sometimes by the way, I like John in general. I like most of the good stuff that he said.
Well, I know that Scott likes John also, but when John comes up and just makes a flat out lie, I've got to dump him to the goo. Sorry.
He's extreme on some things.
He's terrible.
Hey, he can be terrible all he wants, but if he's going to say a flat out lie, he's going to the.
I mean,
if he would have said the COVID illness killed 1 million people, that's arguably the truth. But say the vaccine killed 1 million, no.
That's the data I read.
You know what's a fair question? And I'm open to having this conversation. Net was the COVID vaccine positive for our
Net negative.
A net positive or a net negative?
Net negative.
Now, I'm hoping it was a net positive, and my gut, without looking carefully at the data, and I'm glad you're here, Sir Liberty, and you're here, Ben, because I'd like to hear what you think. I think, in general, it was a net gain for the population of the world.
Exact opposite, you fucking
Let me, I'll tell you what I think, and I would love for people to disagree with me and talk to me about it. There is no question in my mind that the vaccine in and of itself was net positive. I'm talking about the actual vaccine. Now, if anybody wants to disagree with me, here I am. Go for it.
I think the problem, I agree it's a positive, but I think the problem is calling it a vaccine, right? When people, I think
That's who we're dealing with, people.
I get it.
That's who we're dealing with.
I don't get it, right? It's an immunization, and I'm pretty much bulletproof. And
It's
that's
supposed to be
you're
right?
not that
You can still
negative.
get it. It's much more mitigated, right? It's going to save, in many instances, it can save your life. But I think people misconstrue that. I think the nature of the of the injection, that it's the same thing as sort of as a kind of vaccination that tends to eradicate diseases.
Well,
And I
respectfully,
think that's
Scott,
misleading.
Why do you think people felt, or why do you think people were? I want to say, why do you think people were misled? Like, I won't even ask. I'll just say, I think that people were misled to believe that. So I think that this is a lot of the issues with the COVID pandemic in general. It wasn't
we
the
were
fact
misled to believe what?
I think we were misled to believe across the board a lot of things. I think the way that the verbiage was out there regarding the vaccine was, once you get this, you can't get COVID, and you aren't going to be able to pass it to other people. That was.
I think they may have thought that
was
actually mistakenly, Ben.
Yeah, the data was pretty strong at first. I mean, we were looking at counties that had high levels of vaccine compliance and things, and did initial epidemiologic comparisons. It did look pretty strong that people who were vaccinated were less likely to cause infections. The problem was that it was that these vaccines were not distributed randomly to the nation. It was like people who were at higher risk were getting them, people who were more likely to follow, social distancing rules and things, and have isolated social groups were more likely to get them. And there's all these confounding variables that caused us to have difficulties initially with getting a good grip on the data. So I felt like as time progressed, I felt like the reporting, and every time that I looked at it, I felt like the reporting reflected what we were seeing in the data at the time. And then the data would change. And that was the problem, is that people would go, oh my gosh, they lied to us. But I don't know. To me, it just seemed like
This is the
we thought
opinion
one
of a
thing
man
because
who
of the
dresses
information we
up as
had,
a
and then we thought
woman.
like that was the nature of how fast
She goes by
was.
Lady
We just didn't
Liberty.
have time to let these things shake out. This is why normally in a clinical trial we would do it over the course of an 18-month observation window, but we just didn't have that kind of time.
Now, let me tell you what I recall very quickly, and my memory may be incorrect, but the information that I was able to go through, and there was a lot, unequivocally stated the following and stayed the same. Number one, taking the vaccine does not prevent you from getting the virus. That's number one. Number two, taking the vaccine does lessen the side effects that you get when you get COVID. And those are the only two things that stayed the same and that everybody agreed on. Now, if my memory's incorrect, I'm open to.
Well, there's one other variable here.
Go ahead.
Too, that I think's very important.
State it.
I'm going to. The VAERS system that reports. When we was going through it, no one give us any information. If you have an adverse reaction to this, should it be reported at A, B, or C? Second time I took it, because I took 2 shots of it. The second time I took it, same thing. No information. Like if you get an adverse reaction, where do you report it to? Who do you talk to about it? So I think VAERS, where the information was being fed into the system as a feedback to the scientists about what they's actually seen in the population for adverse reaction shot, was vastly underreported. And by the way, 2 weeks after I received my second shot, I contracted COVID.
All right. Okay.
And you probably had a much less severe reaction.
Yeah, probably.
My son that I advised, because he was young, he's healthy, he wasn't overweight, he was healthy, he wasn't overweight, he had no compromise in his health.
No comorbidities. Go ahead. Yeah.
Right. So I advised him, because his risk reward didn't seem to be the same as mine. We actually contracted COVID about the same time, and our symptoms was very, very much the same.
Right.
Yeah, I think the risk reward, if you ask me net benefit, I would say, knowing what we know now, definite, undeniable net benefit for everyone over the age of 70. I would say,
yep.
I would argue net loss for males under the age of 30. I think that males under the age of 30 should not get COVID vaccines. People in general between the ages of 45 and 70, I think it's maybe a wash. I think it depends on what level of symptomology you had, if you've ever had COVID before, what sort of comorbidities you have. But I mean, undeniably, I mean, COVID was so unique in how lethal it was for just relative to how old you were. You know, if you were over 95, I mean, the survival rate was really quite low.
It was just a
And then
fucking.
over 90,
It was a cloud of death that
and that's
pillaged the nation.
And so I
An
think that
invisible
vaccines
specter of
saved
extreme danger spread across the
like,
land. An invisible invader that killed mercilessly.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're somehow 45 with diabetes, then you
Yeah,
probably-
or high blood pressure. Yes.
I'm gonna. I should
By the
probably
way,
just let
this
it
is
run.
Really anecdotal exception, but my mother got it when she was 95, and
This is a good
she
recording.
survived it easily.
When you say got it, you mean the vaccine or the virus?
First she got COVID, and later, when they had the vaccine, she got the vaccine.
She was 95 and she got COVID without the vaccine. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, here was one thing I seen. I talked to a couple people that worked in the medical industry. I talked to a lady that was
Buttercup, I hope you know that the COVID-19 vaccine mass rollout was the biggest fucking fraud and scam and mass carcinogenic event in human history. I'm sorry if you have buyer's remorse. I assume you took it based on your political ideology. You are categorically 100% confirmed to have taken it. Feel bad for you. Sorry. All your free Palestine energy is misdirected. It should actually be against Big Pharma, which is financially and ideologically captured us to kill us, provides no real statistical significant benefits, let alone the financial cost alone is bankrupting the country. It's already bankrupt anyways. Buttercup, is there anything you want to say as I continue to live stream El Normo, the vaccine guy and the master gaslighter? Because, you know, we can at least, I know you probably hate Norm Green, but we could probably agree that his position on the COVID-19 ZAV, as well as other ZAVs and his bullshit about mumps and measles and rubella, we gotta take them all. We gotta stay safe. The funniest thing is they think that it was a net positive, not even a net positive, but a net positive. And what they don't understand is this is really like a culling, you know, like if you got a group of wolves, the weakest wolf like dies off. I don't know, is that called culling? But it's really like eugenics. This is basically legacy eugenics that Dr. Fauci, Bill Gates, etc., the World Health Organization wanted to roll out. I mean, they want to reduce the global population to 4 billion. It's like a stated goal. So they have mass sterilized us. I think you have a child. I'm sure you also zabbed your child, who probably will not have any children for you. Such a terrible legacy to be snuffed out subversively by Dr. Fauci and Bill Gates, Dr. Birx, Peter Stritzak from, Eco Health Alliance. Anyways, there's so much information out there that these low IQ, uninformed, politically, ideologically captured people have absolutely no idea about. They don't know who A.G. Huff is, former U.S. Army officer who used to work at Eco Health Alliance with Peter Stritzak, who got hundreds of millions of dollars in research for the COVID-19 virus. I also think it's interesting to point out that it's I lost my audience.
Wow. So I did not catch. I was taking care of my mother, and I did not get COVID from her. But I wore like 2 masks and a face shield, and I wore gloves. And this is before we had
2
the vaccine.
masks and a face shield.
Then when the
Don't
vaccine
get
came
virus.
out,
Stay
oh,
away
why
from
don't we
me.
take the vaccine. Like, how can we get it? We want to get it faster. Like, people were staying up all night trying to get onto the list to get the vaccine. And I remember they used the Brooklyn Army Center, which is this vast installation in Brooklyn on the Hudson, on the East River. And it was just a massive, massive army-like installation to give out the vaccines. And, we just processed through there. And I did that once, obviously at this Brooklyn Army Center, and then another time at a pharmacy. The first time I took the vaccine, I took to my bed for a couple days. The second time, it was something similar. Maybe it was a day or two of just feeling kind of under the weather. Not severe symptoms, but just under the weather. Then, like 2 years later, after everybody was long past COVID, I went to England. And sometimes when you travel, I think you're encountering new pathogens, so you're more susceptible. So on one trip to England, I got something, it was called, I think it's called RSV, like respiratory something virus or syndrome. And that was a new thing I'd never heard of. And I got real sick for like a couple days or so. I'm choking on bagels and lox. And then another time, 2 years after that, I went to England. I went to London, and I got sick. And this time I had COVID. Like nobody was getting COVID, and I somehow got COVID, and that lasted for like a couple days, and then I was done with it. And that's what I think I had a total of 3 one vaccine and 2 boosters. As the thing morphed, as the virus morphed, remember I think one was called like Omicron or something, and then they had, I don't know what, COVID C or D or something. I took 2, and then I stopped taking boosters.
Norm, you're scaring me. You're going to get laryngeal penetration.
No, I'm not. I'm just choking on like a poppy seed or something.
You all may remember that COVID was declared a national emergency on Friday, March 13th of 2020. Me, a lot of my family members and friends in November of 2019 got what we thought was the worst case of the flu ever. I was bedridden for 3 days, and then for the next 2 weeks, and one of the contributing factors, one of my comorbidities, I smoked cigarettes. I was hawking up phlegm for 2 weeks after that. Although it was never medically confirmed, and in fact some deny, arguably that may have been the actual start of COVID, although it was never diagnosed as COVID. And I know when I officially got COVID, like in 2022, it was very mild. For me, it was like a basic cold. And if indeed, in November of 2019, what me, family members, and friends actually got was the actual start of COVID, my body certainly would have developed the appropriate immunity and white blood cells, which would count for when I finally got it. It affected me in a very mild.
Did you know, Steve? I guess the people who were smokers.
I know.
It's very rare that smoking is the health benefit, but in this case, there was strong evidence that smoking was blocking or diminishing some of these receptors in your lungs that